Attention passionate Cleveland Browns fans. Latest news. Something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Cleveland Browns' path to another Super Bowl run. A power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Cleveland Browns fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends in Cleveland Browns fans. Let's get to the news. When you think about the Cleveland Browns, you can't help but feel a roller coaster of emotions. The team has been through so much over the years. Ups, downs, heartbreaks, and moments that make you believe in the impossible. And right now, there's a storm brewing that could redefine everything for the Browns in 2024. We're talking about Deshaun Watson, the franchise quarterback brought in with high hopes, but whose journey has been far from smooth. Recently, the news surrounding Watson has taken a dramatic turn, and it's something that every Browns fan needs to pay close attention to because it could have serious repercussions for the team's future. Let's rewind a bit and revisit how we got here. Watson's arrival in Cleveland was heralded as a new era. After all, this guy was supposed to be the answer to the Browns' long-standing quarterback dilemma. The team traded a hefty package to acquire him from Houston, hoping that Watson's talent and experience would propel them into genuine playoff contention and maybe even Super Bowl territory. But as we all know, things haven't gone quite as planned. Watson has played just 19 games over 3 seasons since that blockbuster trade, and injuries have played a significant role in stalling his progress. His stats, for what it's worth, include 365 passing yards, 19 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions, which, frankly, aren't what you'd expect from a quarterback of his caliber. The real trouble began last season, during Week 7, when Watson suffered a severe Achilles injury against the Cincinnati Bengals. That injury was devastating, not just for Watson personally, but for the Browns' entire season. Achilles injuries are notoriously tough to come back from, especially for a quarterback who relies so much on mobility and agility. Watson initially underwent surgery after the injury, and the team and fans alike hoped he would recover swiftly and return to his previous form. But it wasn't that simple. Watson had to go through a second surgery in January, and that extended his time away from the field even further. Now, here's where things get even more complicated. Watson's injury and subsequent rehab have kept him away from the Browns' facilities for a significant period. There was a noticeable distance between him and the team during the difficult times of the last season, especially when the Browns struggled with a 3-14 record. As Browns insider Mary Kay Cabot recently pointed out during her appearance on 92.3 The Fan, the team was not exactly thrilled when Watson wasn't around during that tough stretch. She explained that the Browns felt his absence was felt deeply, not just on a personal level but also in terms of team chemistry and leadership. The Browns are a team that thrives on unity, and having your quarterback present during adversity is crucial, something they felt was lacking. But there's been a significant change in the narrative. Since Watson's second surgery, he's been a lot more involved with the team. According to Cabot, Watson has been at the facility every single day since his operation. He's been seen in the building, engaging with teammates, and even participating in some team activities. This might seem like a small detail, but for Browns fans, it signals a lot. It shows that Watson is committed to his recovery, to the team, and to proving that he's still the player they believed they acquired. The coaching staff has been openly praising him, not just for his dedication to rehab but also for his willingness to help others. In fact, Some insiders suggest that Watson has become a positive influence in the locker room, bridging the gap between the team's veterans and the younger players. This newfound presence has also translated into Watson building relationships with his fellow quarterbacks in Cleveland, with the team currently grooming new talent, including rookies Shedeur Sanders and Dillon Gabriel. Watson's role has extended beyond just being the starter when healthy. Both rookies have spoken highly of him, highlighting his input during meetings and practice. Gabriel, in particular, has shared that he sits next to Watson during offensive meetings, soaking up his knowledge and experience. He mentioned how valuable it is to have a quarterback like Watson sharing insights, especially in complex situations like red zone plays or game-winning drives. Gabriel's comments reveal that Watson is not just a backup or a placeholder. He's becoming a mentor and a key contributor to the team's development. Pause here, just for a second, if you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Cleveland Browns news to you. It's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick, and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now, let's continue with the big reveal. Now, the big question on everyone's mind. What is the future for Deshaun Watson? His return to the field remains uncertain, and that uncertainty is creating a lot of buzz among fans and analysts alike. The Browns are clearly aware that Watson's contract, fully guaranteed and worth around $230 million, is a double-edged sword. The team invested heavily in him, hoping he would be their franchise quarterback for years to come. But with the injury setbacks, the inconsistency in his play, and the clock ticking, his contract expires after the 2026 season. Time is running out for Watson to prove he belongs in Cleveland. And more broadly, in the NFL, let's take a deeper look at what Watson's impact, or lack thereof, has meant for the Browns. Since arriving, he's only managed to play in 19 games over 3 seasons, which is a far cry from what fans were expecting. In those games, he's thrown for just over 3,000 passing yards, with an average of around 180 yards per game, and 19 touchdowns against 12 interceptions. Not exactly the numbers you want from a quarterback brought in to be the cornerstone of the franchise. Last season, before his injury, Watson played in 7 games, passing for just over 1,000 yards, with 5 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. His performance was uneven at best, with no single game surpassing 200 yards passing, which raised questions about his ability to lead the offense consistently. The injury, of course, has been a major factor, but it's also forced the Browns to reconsider their plans and expectations. They had envisioned Watson as the key piece to finally elevate the team into serious playoff contention. Instead, the team's recent struggles, especially on offense, have cast doubt on whether Watson can return to his previous form. This has led to speculation about whether the Browns might need to start considering alternative options if Watson's recovery doesn't go as planned. The pressure is mounting, and the fans are eager for answers. The Cleveland Browns, historically a franchise with a passionate fanbase and a rich history, now find themselves at a crossroads, with their quarterback's future hanging in the balance. Watson himself remains optimistic. He's been very vocal on social media, sharing videos that show him working tirelessly on his rehab and trying to stay positive. In one recent video, Watson addressed the doubters directly, saying, "Everyone is doubting me. Everyone don't believe in me. Everyone don't think I can get back to where I was. But I know, and I believe the work that I put in, that I believe in myself. I know I'm gonna be way better than before." That kind of attitude is what fans want to see. But the reality is that the clock is ticking, and he needs to prove it on the field. Beyond his personal journey, The Browns roster is also shaping up in interesting ways. The team has made some strategic moves in the offseason, adding young talent and trying to bolster their defense and offensive line. The draft picks they've made, along with some free agent signings, suggest that the Browns are aiming to be competitive this season, regardless of Watson's status. But ultimately, everything hinges on whether Watson can return to form and lead the team with consistency. The Browns have a solid defense, a promising running game led by Nick Chubb when he's healthy, and an emerging receiving core. Still, without a reliable quarterback, it's tough to see them reaching their full potential. Another aspect to consider is the mental and emotional toll that this injury has taken on Watson. It's not just about physical recovery. It's about regaining confidence and trust from teammates and fans. The locker room seems to be supportive, and some players have publicly expressed their belief in Watson's ability to bounce back. But the pressure from outside, media scrutiny, fan expectations, and the internal clock adds a layer of complexity to his journey back. Every game he misses, every practice he sits out, is a reminder of how critical this comeback is for his legacy and for the Browns' future. Looking at the bigger picture, the AFC North is shaping up to be one of the most competitive divisions in football this year. The Cincinnati Bengals are still led by Joe Burrow, who's been fantastic when healthy. The Baltimore Ravens have reloaded and added new pieces. And of course, the Pittsburgh Steelers are never to be underestimated with their strong defense and a capable quarterback in Kenny Pickett. For the Browns, the challenge is clear. They need Watson to be at his best if they want to contend. Otherwise, they risk falling behind division rivals who are eager to take the lead. The Browns' front office and coaching staff are undoubtedly aware of these stakes. They've been patient with Watson's rehab process, but the clock is ticking. The upcoming season will be critical, not just for Watson's career but for the entire franchise's aspirations. If he can come back strong, lead the offense, and stay healthy, Cleveland could be a dark horse in the AFC. But if not, the team might have to face some uncomfortable truths and start planning for the future without their big investment. As fans, we all hope for the best. We want to see Watson return to his Pro Bowl form, guiding the Browns to victory after victory, silencing critics, and finally bringing the team the success they've long been chasing. The journey is far from over, and the story of this season might well hinge on whether Watson can stay healthy, regain his confidence, and lead this team with the skill and leadership that made him one of the most sought-after quarterbacks in recent years. And now, Cleveland Browns fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Do you believe Watson can make a full comeback? Are you confident that he's the right guy to lead the Browns to a Super Bowl? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Browns. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates. So stay tuned for the latest Cleveland Browns news. We're in this together, and with your support, we'll keep pushing forward, no matter what the future holds. Keep the faith, Browns fans, because this story isn't over yet.